Please, my dear, help me carry this firewood. I am tired. Are you mad, old fool? Do you even know who you are talking to? I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend you. I only asked for help. I am Princess Adaku, daughter of the great king. And you think I will stain my hand this carrying firewood for a wretched old woman like you? Please, I only asked for help. How dare you look at me like that? Kneel down and apologize to me now, before I punish you further. Adaku, you are rude. Is this how you treat those who ask for help? Kneel down now, or else. No! You have not slapped an old woman today, princess. You have slapped a spirit that watches over this land. For this, Adaku, you shall be cast out. The people you despise will reject you. Have mercy! The doors you once walked through with pride will be shut against you. 60 days to change your heart. If you fail, you shall remain a monster forever. 60 days.
She was very ugly. Pain exploded through Princess Adaku's body like fire. She screamed. Her scream tore through the forest as her skin began to change. The smooth glow that once made people admire her darkened and hardened. Her arms twisted unnaturally. Her fingers stretched into claws. Rough scales crept across her flesh, replacing beauty with terror. Princess Adaku staggered backward, clutching her face. No, no, this is not happening, she cried. She looked down at her hands and screamed again. They were no longer delicate. They were monstrous. Trembling, she searched the forest wildly with her eyes. Old woman, she shouted. Where are you? Come back. There was no answer. The old woman was gone, as if she had never existed. Fear gripped Princess Adaku's heart for the first time in her life. She turned and ran. She ran back toward the village, her feet pounding the earth, her breath uneven, her heart filled with terror. Her fine wrappers tore as she ran, her beads scattered across the path, forgotten. As she entered Unoba, the villagers saw her, and they froze. This is Princess Adaku, someone whispered. She tried to cover her face, but there was nowhere to hide. She was no longer beautiful. She was a monster. Princess Adaku pushed through the crowd, crying and screaming, until she reached the palace gates. The guards recoiled in fear, but recognized her voice. They opened the gates. Inside the palace, her father, the great king of Unoba, heard the chaos and rushed out. When he saw her, the mighty king staggered backward. Adaku, my daughter. The king fell to his knees. Immediately, he ordered messengers to run to every corner of the land. Bring me the best herbalists, the greatest healers, the wisest diviners, he commanded. Spare no cost. From distant villages and far kingdoms they came. They mixed roots and leaves. They chanted, they prayed, they sacrificed animals. They burned incense. They tried everything known to man. But nothing worked. Many refused to serve her anymore. The king wept as he watched his daughter from a distance, unable to help her. Finally, with tears in his eyes, the king made the hardest decision of his life. He ordered Princess Adaku to be locked away. Princess Adaku only grew worse. Her body became more twisted with each passing day. Her anger grew uncontrollable. She screamed endlessly. She attacked the palace walls. She lashed out at anyone who came near her. The maids suffered more than ever. She beat them mercilessly. She threw objects at them. She bit and clawed like a wild beast. Some maids fled the palace in fear. Others carried scars that would never heal. As the days passed, Princess Adaku's condition grew even worse. It was not only her appearance that changed. A terrible smell began to follow her everywhere. But with each passing day, the stench grew stronger, heavier, and more unbearable. The palace maids covered their noses when they approached her chamber. Some could not endure it at all. No amount of bathing could cleanse her. Rivers of scented water were poured over her. Herbs were rubbed into her skin. Smoke from burning incense filled the room. Her body oozed a foul odor that turned the stomach and chased people away. Even the guards posted outside her chamber kept their distance, tying cloth over their noses. Princess Adaku howled in rage and pain. Why won't it stop? She screamed, smashing her claws against the walls. With the stench came madness. Desperate, he sent out search parties. Find the old woman, he ordered. Search every forest, every road, every village. Days passed, weeks passed. No one found her. The old woman had vanished from the world of men.
Princess Adaku could no longer bear the silence of her prison. The stench clung to her body. The walls felt too close. Her anger boiled over like a pot left too long on fire. With a sudden burst of strength, she broke free from the palace parlor where she had been locked. The guards, frightened by her monstrous appearance and foul smell, scattered in fear as she burst into the open courtyard. Come out, she shouted into the open space, and at the villagers, come and face me if you have mouths to mock me. People gathered slowly, cautiously at first, as if testing whether the old fear still worked. It did not. Children were the first to laugh openly. Look at her, one child shouted, pointing without shame. Is that not the princess who used to slap elders? Another child laughed loudly. She smells like something that died and refused to leave the earth. The laughter spread like wildfire. Princess Adaku felt her chest tighten. Silence, she screamed, stepping forward, trying to summon the authority that once made grown men kneel. Do you not know who I am anymore? We know who you were, princess, but look at you now. Your crown has fallen and your pride has turned against you. Adaku shook with anger. I am still the king's daughter, she shouted. You will not speak to me this way. Where was that title when you stepped on my father because he did not greet you fast enough? He asked slowly. Where was that pride when you slapped my mother in the marketplace? The children laughed again. Monster, they chanted in ugly monster. Something inside Adaku snapped. She charged at them, screaming, waving her clawed hands wildly. But instead of running in fear, people stood their ground. Stones flew, sticks followed. She was beaten, not with mercy. Each blow carried a memory of pain she had caused. Every slap she gave, every insult she spat, every elder she humiliated. She fell hard onto the earth, dust filling her mouth, her body aching, her pride crushed beneath her own weight. Please, she cried, her voice weak, broken, nothing like the sharp tone she once used to command. Please, I am tired. The crowd slowly dispersed, leaving her cold in the dirt, breathing shallowly, her tears soaking into the soil of the land she once thought she owned. That was the first time Princess Adaku cried. Her pride was crushed and broken. For the first time, and in that silence, a terrifying thought finally settled in her heart. She had only 14 days left. 14 days to change. 14 days before the curse became permanent. 14 days before she would remain a monster forever. Her pride, she realized, would not save her. It had never saved her. It had only destroyed her. The next morning, hunger forced her to rise. She wandered through the village slowly, her head bowed. Children still mocked her, adults still whispered. But she did not shout, she did not raise her hand. She swallowed her anger like bitter medicine. She saw an old woman struggling to lift a bucket of water. Her chest tightened painfully. For a long moment, she stood there, battling the ghost of who she used to be. Then she walked forward. Kneeling slightly, she said, "Please allow me to help you, even if you reject me afterward." The woman stared at her in shock. You? She asked. Princess Adaku? Adaku nodded slowly. I was once proud, she said. Now I'm only trying to survive and to change. The woman hesitated, then released the bucket. Adaku lifted it. It was heavy. Her arms burned, her back screamed in pain, but she carried it anyway. From that day on, her pride melted away not in one moment, but drop by drop like wax before fire. She fetched water for widows who spat at her feet. She swept compounds where she was once worshipped. She carried firewood for elders she once stepped on, bowing deeply, apologizing again and again, even when they refused to forgive her. 14 days, she said to herself every night, counting on her fingers. 14 days, 13, 12. The people of Unoba watched in silence as the days passed, their eyes following Princess Adaku wherever she went, their hearts filled with shock and disbelief. This was not the Princess Adaku they knew. This was not the arrogant girl who once rode on the shoulders of guards, shouting at the weak and stepping on the old. This was not the princess whose voice made maids tremble and elders bow in fear. They saw her sweep compounds quietly, accepting insults without raising her voice, accepting mockery without lifting her hand. Is this truly Princess Adaku, the same girl who slapped elders? And yet, inside Princess Adaku, fear still lived, because the last day had come. That morning, the sky was heavy and grey, as if the heavens themselves were waiting. Princess Adaku walked slowly to the edge of the village, her steps weak, her heart pounding painfully in her chest. She sank to her knees, and she cried. She cried like a child who had lost her way. She cried until her chest hurt and her throat burned. She cried until the earth beneath her was wet with tears. So this is how it ends, she whispered brokenly. This is my fate. Her voice trembled as she spoke to the empty air. Please, I will never go back to my old ways, she sobbed. Never, even if I remain like this forever. She wrapped her arms around herself, shaking. I am disgusted by who I used to be, she continued, her voice heavy with regret. Just because my father was powerful, just because he was rich and feared, I treated the poor like they were nothing, like they are trash. Her tears fell faster. I thought power meant cruelty. I thought fear meant respect. I was wrong. I was so wrong. She pressed her forehead to the ground. If this curse must remain, she cried out, then let it remain. I deserve it. I only beg, let my heart never return to that darkness. Her shoulders shook violently as she wept, fully believing that she was about to remain a beast forever. Princess Adaku. Her body froze. Slowly trembling, she lifted her head. Her eyes widened in shock. Standing before her was the same old woman. It's you, Adaku whispered, rising weakly to her feet. The old woman smiled gently. I am glad, Princess Adaku, she said softly, that you have finally changed. Adaku fell to her knees again immediately. Please, she cried, I am so sorry. I did not know that pride and arrogance lead nowhere. I did not know they only destroy. Just because my father was rich and powerful doesn't mean I had the right to treat people like trash, she said painfully. I see it now. I see everything I was blind to before. The old woman stepped closer. I have watched you, she said. I have followed your days. I searched your heart, my dear, the old woman said, and I found it pure. Princess Adaku gasped. I have forgiven you. At that moment, something extraordinary happened. Princess Adaku felt a warmth spread through her body, gentle and powerful at the same time. A soft light surrounded her, glowing brighter with each heartbeat. Her twisted limbs straightened, her rough skin softened. The foul smell vanished like smoke in the wind. The monster fell away. When the light faded, Princess Adaku stood transformed. Her body restored, her beauty returned. even greater than before, as if the curse had never touched her. It was as though she had never been a monster at all. She stared at her hands, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, she cried, her voice shaking with gratitude. The old woman smiled one last time. Her body began to glow. Slowly, she transformed into a radiant spirit, her form shimmering with ancient power. Remember this lesson, Adaku, the spirit said. Power without humility is empty. Wealth without kindness is poison. And then she disappeared. When Princess Adako returned to the village, the people of Unwoba could not believe their eyes. They gathered slowly, cautiously, whispering among themselves, afraid that what they were seeing might disappear if they blinked too long. This was no monster. Standing before them was a young woman, glowing softly in the sunlight, her skin smooth and radiant, her eyes calm and gentle, her beauty greater than it had ever been before. Please forgive the wrongs of my past. The people stood frozen. Never, never in the history of Unoba had Princess Adaku bowed to anyone. From that day, her life changed completely. She began to walk the village paths on her own feet, refusing to be carried again. She visited the poor, not with guards, but with kindness. She shared food with widows, sat with the sick, and listened to the cries of the needy. She washed the feet of the elderly. She carried firewood without complaint. She fetched water at dawn like any other daughter of the land. And when people spoke to her, she listened, truly listened, like a friend, like a sister, like a fellow human being. Children no longer ran from her. They ran toward her. They laughed around her, held her hands, and climbed onto her lap without fear. One morning, as Princess Adaku approached the palace gates alone, her father, the great king of Unoba, stepped out to meet her. When he saw her, he stopped. His crown felt heavy on his head, his eyes filled with tears. Adaku, he whispered, his powerful voice breaking. She knelt before him immediately. My father, she said softly, does he hear? I greet you. The king could not speak. This was not the daughter he remembered, the one who shouted, commanded, and crushed others under her pride. This was a daughter reborn. Tears streamed down the king's face. He stepped forward and lifted her into his arms. My child, he cried openly before chiefs and guards. I failed you. My love blinded me. I protected your pride instead of correcting it. Princess Adaku wept as well. We both have learned, she said gently, and the land has forgiven us. The king held her tightly, his shoulders shaking. From that day onward, Princess Adaku ruled, not with fear, but with compassion. She became a voice for the poor, a shield for the weak, and a reminder that true greatness is not in power, but in humility.